Welcome everyone to another episode of Takeover United Pod, where we take over your weekend with all things Manchester United. And the depression is back, boys. The depression is back. Uh, a very confusing performance against Nottingham Forest this week. We lost the game 1-0 with the lone goal scored by former Manchester United man Anthony Alanga. And this was that kind of game where the stats tell a very different story from what actually happened on the pitch. I know Somdeep has an army of observations ready, but yeah, I just want to say that if somebody just sees the stats, they will think, "How did we lose this game?" Because we had more shots on target, we had better position, we had better XG, we had better everything, but we didn't finish, which feels like again a similar kind of expectation that we are been having from this club, that hey, just put the damn ball in the net. But also I think there were more underlying issues which were there. So yeah, Somdeep, I'll let you take it away.
Um, yeah. So I know that like with the game, right? The story, like one side of the story tells us that United lost the game, but they won on XG, right? I think it was like 1.8 or 2
Yeah.
to like zero point 0.6 for Forest. There was quite a gap there. But the other side of the story is that Forest scored really early. They scored in the third minute, I think third or
Fifth,
fifth minute. I'm,
fifth
I'm not.
minute.
Yeah, with that counter attack by Alanga,
Hmm.
and this kind of really falls into how Forest want games to go. They try to like get an early goal, and then they're very comfortable sitting deep, often putting six men in the back line, and holding on to that lead. If you look at the number of shots we had, right? United had like 27 shots or thereabouts, and that accumulated to XG. That's less than zero point 0.1 xg per shot. The quality of chances we created, for the most part, weren't that good. They were half chances or hopeful attempts.
Hmm.
I think Garnacho racked up like a lot of shots from the edge of the box as well. So I feel like the overall game, it kind of played into Forest's hands because they like this kind of goal and sit back approach, and United don't have the tools to break down a low block, and that showed. What do you
we
think,
don't we
Ron?
don't have the tools to finish either.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and that really showed on the day for sure.
Yeah, like Harry Maguire got more XG in his substitute appearance than what last 15 appearances of Erasmus Island.
Uh, I think that tweet was like so difficult to believe that the account that tweeted it, they actually had to clarify that
Yeah,
this
that's not
isn't
an April
April
Fool's.
Fools. Yeah, it's a serious statistic. So yeah, I want to point out one thing though. The way we conceded the goal, right? I felt like something with the team setup was wrong there. It was like minute 5 of the game, right? Probably the first corner for either side that I can remember. And for some reason, we only kept Dorgu and Mazraoui kind of in rest defense for the corner, and maybe Garnacho at the edge of the box. I thought that was really weak in general, and I didn't understand why we committed so many men within the first 10 minutes of the game. For a set piece, we're not particularly good at in the first place, so I can't help but feel that that could have been set up differently. And Forest noticed that they tried to capitalize on that more than once throughout the game. It just didn't work out on the other occasions. So that was something I thought Amram and his coaching team got wrong.
Yeah.
They made quite a few mistakes with how they started the game. As the game wore on, they corrected a lot of those things, but we couldn't get the goal to equalize.
Yeah, Ron, what did you think of this game? Back to being shit.
Yeah, I think I thought I agree with Somdeep about like committing many men forward there that early. in the game because there's always been a pattern with Forest, right? They have always been thriving on counters this season, and especially like with having Anthony Langa's space up front and like they had Aonibi as well. So not sure what the tactic there was to like just to allow them, and we really considered very early on from that, and we didn't have the legs or we didn't have the pace to match our ex players' speed. Uh, and as the game progressed, we definitely had decent chances to at least draw the game. Now, I wouldn't say like we had lots of chances and like we were gonna win convincingly and then we lost. We had decent enough chances to at least draw the game, but and even defensively, Forest did not look like they had the best of chances. I mean, we did keep them at bay a little bit, but again, like it's one of those days where your attackers have also let you down. They were, we are still seeing the same things. Like we're still seeing lots of like not good play from from a front line. Like there is definitely need for additions there.
Are you sure it was just one of those days? More like every week.
Yeah, but we do end up like in some matches we do end up getting results, right? Like at
Yeah.
least they are scoring, but we never really know that when that off day will come, and then we'll just give up on a one lead also. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
You never know with United.
So, um, what do you guys think about Garnacho? Because Garnacho got a lot of flack after the game for being very wasteful in possession, um, not being, not overlapping much with, I think, Dorgu on the left, and just wasting a lot of balls. There was this, can't find the tweet now. Or there was this comment. When Garnacho when shooting, I hit a bird. Garnacho when crossing, hey, can the ball go higher than 3 feet? Uh, yeah, he was universally slated by fans, online and pundits. So yeah, what do you guys think of Garnacho's performance?
I think uh, uh, like with Garnacho, there is always like I get the criticism that he receives, and I think it's fair criticism as well because Garnacho has like you always look at him like in some games he does have like a big impact on the game, but again there's that bit of inconsistency which comes with his age and never really shown any signs of that when the team needs him that he's gonna step up and convert those goals. So he's never shown that kind of a quality. So I guess the criticism that he gets is quite fair. And to be honest, he's also young right now, so not sure whether he should be like obviously there will be question marks over whether he should be starting games or whether when we get new signings.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there are lots of question marks over Garnacho's future. No. What about you, Somdeep? What do you think?
Uh, I think you guys know that maybe I'm not the biggest Garnacho fan, but I believe in his overall potential, right? Maybe right now he's not the perfect product, and we can see that. But in the future, I do believe he has the potential to be better. Ha- Having said that, uh, in this game and in a lot of other times this season, I feel a lot of the blame lies with Amarim and his profiling of Garnacho. Uh, Especially if you look at the first half, right? Uh, we reverted to the 3-2-5 shape. Uh, and the problem in that is we not 3 to 5, we sort of reverted to the 5-2-3 shape,
Mm.
right? And we very much used Garnacho and Bruno as tens in the half spaces. So that was a change I didn't fully understand, because I thought that Garnacho did very well against Arsenal by playing on the right wing and occupying the wide channels rather than kind of dropping infield. So I didn't really get the logic behind that change. Garnacho isn't a player who's good at playing in the half spaces to a large extent. Secondly, I thought he actually did pretty decently trying to drop deep and help out with build up from the half spaces. It was just clear that that's not his skill set. Uh, he made two errors, or like two kinds of errors throughout the game. One was you already mentioned, Pratyush, that every time Dorgu overlapped him in the second half when Garnacho was moved to the left, he didn't look for the overlap. He didn't lay the ball off to Dorgu. Instead, he went for a poor shot from the edge of the box, and definitely he should have done better there. I think that was his biggest mistake throughout the game. The one occasion he did play a ball to an underlapping Dorgu. Uh, Dorgu actually made a run to the touchline, played a cross in, and Harry Maguire got off a header which went narrowly wide. I think in around the 90th or 91st minute. So the, definitely, like he could have done better there. For the most part, though, I felt Ruben Amorim got his profiling wrong, and I have like some instances for this. Didn't understand why Garnacho was narrow on the right side. He should have stayed wide on the right, and he should have allowed Dallo to underlap. It was something that worked really well against Arsenal because I believe that's how these players are correctly profiled while still respecting the largest system. We didn't do that. Uh, Secondly, we used Zirkzee as a lone man up top, and,
Yeah,
and he
what is going
confirmed
on
in.
there? Why is Amorim
Yeah,
reverting to this?
yeah, and the strange thing is that Zirkzee confirmed that the managers asked me to stay near the box today in a pre-match interview, and he did exactly that. And I didn't get the logic of it because that is not the best use of Zirkzee at all. Another case of profiling gone wrong, I felt. Then the, the other issue I noticed with profiling was we started Mazraoui at LCB and Euro at RCB, and we've talked about this on the pod before.
Yeah,
Euro
yeah,
tends to do better on the left so
right.
far in his nascent Premier League career. The further reasoning I have for why these things weren't ideal with how we started the game is in the second half, Amram made changes to each of these things. He brought on Hoyland and dropped Xerxes into the left 10. Sorry. He brought on Hoyland and dropped Xerxes into the 10. I'll come to that later. He switched Garnacho to play left wing
Hmm.
and stopped asking him to play in the half spaces. And he swapped Euro and Mazraoui's sides. And Euro did like amazingly well in the second half on the left hand side. Like, credit to him. The problem there was the minute you put Garnacho and Dorgo on the same side, we know what happens, right? Like it's I don't know, like there's a lack of chemistry across the front line.
Hmm.
Uh, like Garnacho and Hoyland don't link up well. Garnacho and Dorgo don't pass to each other. Uh, Nobody really finds Hoyland even when he's in good positions. Uh,
I
i-
think that has been a trend right since Holland has come to the club. Nobody finds Holland.
uh, there was one
There
player
was one player,
who
yes, we
was.
don't talk about that player.
Yeah, but even though it's not considered a big part of his skill set, he really was good at finding Hoyland.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he's loaned out to another club and scoring for them, and assisting really well. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, of course, there are player issues, like you said. The lack of a striker, man. Like,
Yeah, I think to
Just
me
to
it
add
did
to
feel that when I saw the lineup that Hoyland was dropped and Xerxes was there. Um, for a few minutes, I wondered if Amorim was taking our suggestion from our best lineup video, where Garnacho plays up top, but unfortunately that was not the case. Um, I think in hindsight, it feels that Amorim did kind of wanted to, I don't know, drop Hoyland to to say that nobody's undroppable. But again, he ran into a familiar problem. We don't have anybody on the bench if you drop a player. Like, sure, our first team is garbage, but our bench is non-existent. So then he's forced to play Xerxes up top, right? Because I think honestly at this point, I'm I know we put Garnacho up top in that video, but honestly, I'm starting to doubt how good Garnacho would even be up top. To be honest.
I mean, we saw signs of his attacking potential against Arsenal, right? When he's
Hmm.
kind of allowed to stretch play on the right. But hey, like, Amram can always bring on the 63-year-old goalkeeping coach, right? If he doesn't have attacking options.
Well, to be fair, Rashford also was not playing up top for us.
Yeah, but the one game he did play, he scored a brace for Amram.
Well,
I
I saw Maguire making better runs than Zugby and Ireland. Like that is the level they are operating at right now.
Yeah, I have to agree with that, and that's where a lot of our late game XG came from. It was just Maguire
Yeah,
being up there, making
yeah,
runs and
that's how
winning
they're doing.
headers when the ball was hit in his direction. There was another weird thing I noticed, which I didn't really understand. Uh, like, when you're playing against a team you know is gonna, like, Forest average 39% in
Hmm.
the Premier League. They love giving the other team the ball, so it's a big reason why we had so much of the ball as well. Uh, when you know that a team's going to sit deep and defend with a mid to low block, right, and you're not going to have much space to exploit, you want your width to come from players who can take on their man and maybe pass them to create an opening. Why are we so insistent on watching Diego Dallo do his worst impression of Cristiano Ronaldo every time, when he's 1v1 with a man? I don't get it. Like, it's it's not really even supposed to be his job. Like, I'm not expecting him to pull something out of the
Yeah.
hat there.
Hmm.
But it happens so many times.
Yeah, very infuriating performance. But I think if we have to kind of look at some positives in this game, I think Casemiro had a good performance, right? At least
Yeah,
in the 60 odd minutes that he was on the pitch. Um,
100%.
I mean, sure, the
100%.
2 week break definitely helped matters for Casemiro. But yeah, Rohan, what do you think of Casemiro's performance? Compare him to Ugarte for
Casemiro.
me, because they both played the game. They played a half together, so before Ugarte got subbed. So, what do you think of Casemiro and Ugarte? 260 million people.
I mean, Casemiro, we always like whenever we have criticized Casemiro, it's been like in the background. There's always been because of his like age right now, because he
Hmm.
can't like because of we say a lot that his legs are gone and everything, but he has that experience, right? He is like a
Right.
5 or 6 time Champions League winner.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
has he's a player. There's a player there. The mind is there, just the body isn't working
Right.
anymore that much and everything. And so that rest did him like really good. Like it was very good for him. Like but if we keep playing him again every game and he keeps then he'll probably get exhausted and we'll probably used to have to use another like maybe Collier or anyone. We'll have to use them or maybe shift Bruno back, right?
Yeah.
There's always a chance of injury and everything. So he has that game sense, he has that experience, he has that ability to pull off passes as well. Like we've seen his ability on the ball. He's clearly miles ahead of Ugarte, who does, like we spoke on the last board as well. He offers very limited ability, and that's the thing with limited ability, right? Like if even if that doesn't show up on the pitch, then there is going to be criticism. So there's no escape for Ugarte from that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugarte, yeah, I think more and more he plays, we see more and more the limited range of his ability.
Yeah,
And but 60 million, man, 60 million.
yeah.
So, do you think there was a world where instead of us spending 60 million on Ugarte, we just spend that 60 million on John Neves? Because that's basically what happened.
I think. I mean, I think at this point I would take us not buying a DM at all. I feel like that would have been the better alternative. Uh, Even by his standards, I thought Ugarte was terrible. yesterday. He had one of his poorest games. Uh, and Amarim thought the same, right? He took him off at halftime.
Yeah.
And he moved Bruno back into midfield. He was bad. I don't know what else to say. Like, he had a lot of situations where he was open on the ball, and there was somebody running down the wing, and he just, like, I don't know, he played this like weird looped pass which went nowhere, and that happened like 3 or 4 times in the first 30 minutes itself, and we had like open counter attacks going on there. So that was bad, and he's developed this tendency of when there's pressure near him, right? Like, he doesn't lose the ball, but he lays it off to someone else who's under even more pressure. Typically Casemiro in the game, and I was like, "What are you doing? Like, there's 3 players around Casemiro. They're in your field of view, and you're deliberately playing that pass." I was like, "I don't get it." And I was amazed when twice Casemiro like oriented his body shape and managed to pull like really good passes out to Garnacho or Dalo on the right side. But yeah, they were like hospital passes, man. Like, nobody was being helped with that. Uh, I read another statistic about him today. Apparently, he covers the most distance, something like 16 kilometers or something off the ball. Uh, can't help but feel that it's the very definition of a headless chicken, because there's a lot of running, but there isn't much thought behind it. You have an engine, but you don't have somebody behind the steering wheel, and that's pretty much how I see him play. If I don't know, like 60 million, like this time the song really will be 60 million down the drain, and that's it. Like,
60 million down
you
the
can stop
drain
it.
as Ugarte
That's it.
misplaces a pass again.
Oh, I love that. I hate how nice that sounds. Like, that is catchy.
That fits. That actually fits. That's perfect. That'll be the next. That'll be
That's
the next
beautiful. Like,
next one.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess another disappointing performance in the books. Yeah, it feels like the story is repeated so many times this season, right? You have a side that could potentially win a game, but either through wrong tactics or wrong personnel or just being complete garbage, you end up losing a game. Um, like, yeah, I mean, there was like you said, Somdeep. Forrest scored a goal through a moment of brilliance through a man who again we should never have sold, and yeah, and then they just sit back. They know that United can't score. They know our attackers are garbage. I mean, the whole league knows at this point. So I think maybe if he scored an equalizer, Forest probably would have opened up a bit to kind of attack us again to get that winning goal. Um, but yeah, I think we just let them off too easy because of our own and because of our own incompetence. And I think headless chicken is not just a good fit for Ugarte, but I think the whole club at this point, right from the top.
This is gonna sound like contrarian, but I actually thought that other than Ugarte, I thought the rest of the players tried to play well, and a lot of them did. Like, Euro, Casemiro, there were good performances in there. Even Zirkzee, like, he was isolated, but when he was involved in the play, he was actually really good. Uh, it was a strange game where I thought that the players kind of played well, but the setup was confusing to me. And it's not often we see that. Like, there weren't like a huge number of individual mistakes if you leave aside Ugarte. Uh, it kind of feels like the players have gotten used to the system, and now the issues are just the parts they're not even capable of. The stuff you
Yeah.
can't train, which is different. Like,
Yeah, the issues are the
but
players.
yeah, like, we're beginning to hit that ceiling where we're gonna have to buy like a Dimarco at wing back,
Huh.
and a Barella in midfield, and a Bastoni at centre back, and that's pretty much the only way to
Yeah.
get anything out of this. Like,
Yeah,
we're almost there.
yeah, we're also back to the drawing board for a DM, right? When we had the Ugarte transfer, a lot of the hope was, oh, hey, we finally get a capable DM, say next to Mainu or, to play alongside him. But, or, also to say, replace Casemiro and Ericsson, who are, I think Ericsson is even more gone, physicality wise. But yeah, it seems like probably not this summer. I don't think we're going to target. I don't think we'll target a DM this summer just because we have so many other things to fill. But definitely, then I think the next, I don't know, 2 or 3 transfer windows, I think United will be back on the market for a DM. And the reason I say that is because I think because once Collier comes back, it will be, uh, probably we'll be able to play him more. But yeah, I know Rowan has to leave, so we're going to wrap up soon. I just want to wrap up with another round of predictions. We have the City game this weekend. Who do we have after that? Next week we have Leon and Newcastle. Okay, quick from everyone. City, Leon, and Newcastle predictions. Let's start with you, Rohan.
Um, the City, I stand by what I said last episode. I think we might win
Okay.
by a goal. Yeah, yeah. Leon, I think we lose or draw. Mm, and was the Newcastle, right? Newcastle,
Yeah.
I think we might lose.
Hmm.
Newcastle.
Okay. Sandeep.
Uh, Want to point out that I think two of us said that we would lose to Forest, right? And that actually did happen. I don't remember
Yeah.
who, but I definitely remember that.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. City, I think I'd said last week we would lose, if I'm not wrong.
Hmm.
So I don't remember, but I think we'll lose. Probably a narrow loss, but from what I'm seeing of City in recent weeks, right? They've worked on their second ball stuff. They've tried to raise their athletic floor with new signings, and they have infinite money at their disposal. So I think this is a slightly different City team from who we faced earlier in the season. I think they'll win. Um, Lyon, it's Europa. I can see the pressure is different there. I can see this team winning. So maybe a 1-0 or a 2-1 win for United. Newcastle, we're going to lose. They have an insanely athletic midfield. They have Isak. There's no way we're going to be a combat. The
Yeah.
it's the brutal loss of them.
No.
Probably a 2-0 loss or something.
Agreed. Yeah, I think for me, City. I think last time I went with Rohan and said we'll win the City game, but after what we saw with Forest, I mean, I know it's also a bunch of bad luck with Forest, but City is looking really good with Marmoush and all the new players that the kind of. I think also kind of using a new tactic, especially with Haaland gone for I think pretty much the rest of the season at this point. So yeah, I think the City game. I think I I want to say a loss, but I will give credit to Amorim kind of turning up in big games this season. So I think I'll probably go with a draw. I think we'll try to nick one in extra time and make it 1-1. But I think City will dominate the game. I mean, it's Pep. He's going to have 80% possession. Uh, Leon again. I know we're again the same reason we're doing well in Europa, and but again I think Leon is an away game the first leg, so I think it'll probably be another draw. I feel like a 1-1 draw. Um, I don't think it'll be 2-2. I think if Leon scores a second goal, we're losing. But I think if we can keep them to one goal, we'll draw it 1-1. And Newcastle, I have no hopes, man. I think 2-0. I think more like 3. I won't be surprised even if it's a 3-0 or 4-0 loss. Newcastle is looking really, really good. They're dispatching teams better than us with much more ease, and I don't think we'll have an answer for Isaac. I mean, you don't even have experienced centre backs. All our centre backs are pretty much young. Maybe if Maguire starts that game, he can do something to control Isaac. I don't know. Our team at the back is very young, so
Man, I would be terrified of Isaac's pace against Maguire.
oh,
Like there would be a part of me I'd be like, do we really want to go there?
no. I'm just talking about the experience.
Euro was, Euro kept up with Elanga, and I'm amazed because Elanga is like he is fast.
Yeah,
Like Euro did an outstanding job against Elanga, so that guy is good.
yeah,
I don't know what else to say.
yeah. Yeah, so we'll see how these 2 or 3 games go. And again, thanks everyone for tuning in. Remember to subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on our social media channels, and we will see you again next week with more depression from the Man United podcast.